very pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Broncos Stadium at Mile High on this Saturday night.
Hey, prime time, it don't get no better than this.
The Cleveland Browns roll into the Mile High City.
Got to come out here, got to put on a show, home field.
To face the Denver Broncos.
Hey, what's up, baby? Here we go, Saturday Night Football. What's good?
Together on three, 1, 2, 3, go!
A loss to the Browns has the Broncos staying home for the playoffs once again. Hello, and thank you for joining us for the Broncos Film Review. I'm Phil Milani alongside Matt Boyer, Steve Atwater, Ray Crockett. Guys, no playoffs for the Broncos this year, and they should have won these last two games, right, Ray?
Yeah, most definitely. And as you can see, I'm just fitting to the occasion. It's ugly sweater, 2 weeks of ugly football. That's just how it goes down. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you have to win the winnable games. You have to win the games that you're supposed to win on your schedule. And yes, San Francisco played hard, and yes, Cleveland played hard. But those were two games, Steve, if you put down talent per talent, we should win those games. And if you don't, you find yourself out of the playoffs.
I agree, and it just looked like the Cleveland Browns, I won't say they were playing harder, but it seemed like they had a little bit more confidence. Baker Mayfield, he plays solid. We couldn't get it going, man. We just didn't have enough to get over the hump, and that's the problem, especially when it's a time when we really needed to. We had to win this game to make it into the playoffs, and we didn't show up.
This is in any given Sunday league. Every team is talented. You and I talked about
Saturday
it.
night.
Right. Well, you and I talked about it today. Earlier, it was like, you see the Steelers beat the Patriots. This Broncos team beat the Steelers just a couple weeks ago. So it's so frustrating to see, like Ray mentioned, teams that you should beat, you just can't get over the hump when you beat quality teams in the lead up to that.
And the things you have to understand is this, too. That team played like they had nothing to lose. We played careful. We played a little hesitant, like we had everything to lose. When you get down to games like that, when it's one and done, you got to go all out. And I feel we still left plays on the table and decisions on the table as well.
It was a low-scoring game, but the Browns got on the board first with a big touchdown.
Mayfield rips it. End zone. Touchdown. Held on to by Brashard Perriman. It's 3rd and goal. Look for the pass, which was covered. Keenum running. Getting there. Touchdown Broncos. Brandon McManus is 14 of 14 inside of 50 yards this season. This ball spotted at the 34, an attempt of 44 yards, and he's now 15 of 15 as he is perfect from 44. Garrett's pressure picked up. Keenum has to throw it. Sutton goes up in the air, and it is intercepted by Jabril Peppers.
Knew his man coverage. Heck, we're in field goal range. I gotta be more careful with the ball, but trying to give him a chance, and kid made a heck of a play. Coming from the middle of the field, intercepting that one. I need to get that ball up and down a little bit sooner.
Mayfield faces a 5-man rush, throws a ball that will be high and intercepted inside the Bronco 5-yard line. That ball intercepted by Damani Thomas.
It was a tied game at halftime, but guys, let's go back to that early touchdown. We saw Baker Mayfield find Brashard Perriman. Perfect throw.
Yeah, it was a great throw. And on that play, as you saw, you will see the two safeties show a 2-look. And then they go into a 1-robber. What that means is the safety comes down in the hole. So actually that slot corner, he has inside help low and inside help high. But here's the thing. If you go up on a wide receiver, that is your only chance to dictate what you want him to do. So what I mean by that, Steve, put hands on him. You have to put hands on him. If you don't touch him, he's going to be able to run straight down the field, and it's actually a corner route. It's pat and go. It's what they do every day. If you do not disrupt timing, then that pass route will be a problem for any corner in the league. Not just Brock, but the best ones in the league can't cover that.
Yeah, it makes it difficult when you put guys in the perfect defense, and just the technique that they use isn't the best, and that ends up hurting you. I think in the end he wound up in pretty good position, but if he had jammed that receiver, jammed his outside shoulder and kept his inside arm free, yes, I think he would have slowed the receiver down some, thrown that timing off a little bit, and given himself to make a play on the ball there at the end.
Brock's not in bad position at the end of the play. I mean, that's just a great throw and catch by Baker Mayfield and Brashard Perriman. I think that, it's funny because Baker Mayfield was pretty inaccurate for most of that first half, and we're going to see it in a second, but you dictate so much of what's going to happen in a play right at the outset, and it just didn't happen for the Broncos.
You either win at the end of a route or you win at the beginning of a route. And our problem for most of the year is that we don't win at the beginning of routes. At the beginning of routes, we allow receivers to dictate to us. That's not a position that a DB wants to be in.
It was a similar look there right at the end of halftime, and Baker maybe thought same thing was going to happen. Turned out to be a DeMonte Thomas interception.
And that was, to me, that was a great defensive call by Joe Woods, and it was great execution by the players. The players showed the same one robber look. They went into a two-man, which is everybody trails the receivers, which makes Baker have to fit the ball in. If he throws it a little bit short, that under guy should get it. If he throws it high, then the deep safety should get it, and he threw it high. And it was a great job by Justin Simmons. At that point, he's long enough, tall enough, and he has long arms to make that ball go over the top a little high.
Yeah, the ball was high, and I liked the position that DeMonte Thomas was in. He wasn't too deep, but he was deep enough to where the overthrow went right to him.
Thomas is a guy that hasn't really gotten a lot of opportunity this year for the Broncos, made a very nice play. And, you know, Justin Simmons, give him some credit too. Ray just mentioned, you know, Landry's a tough cover for any corner in the league. So for him to go one-on-one with Landry, I mean, that speaks to his versatility and his skill set, and it really showed off on that play.
Yeah, got to make plays when you can, and a bad throw by Baker Mayfield. The second half started with a 9-minute drive from the Browns, but it ended with another Broncos turnover.
Mayfield hit as he throws. Ball comes out, and it's ruled a fumble and a recovery by Denver.
Ball spotted at the 32-yard line, far hash, an attempt of 42 yards, and Brandon McManus is good. Four-man rush, Mayfield in the pocket, flushed and hit and grabbed and finally pulled to the ground, and that is Von Miller. Von Miller, with that sack, has become the all-time leading sack artist in Denver Broncos history, as he has passed Simon Fletcher.
Me and Simon have been buddies for, say, 5 or 6 years now, and he drove all the way down from Wyoming to see it. So it's incredible to have that type of support from, you know, a Bronco legend.
So back up to the 20. Keenum on first down with a deep shot. That is an interception waiting for T.J. Carey, who's inbounds.
It's a really poor read by me. You know, we were feeling good, wanted to take a shot, and you know, they did a good job disguising the coverage. They rolled to a different form of cover two, and you know, I didn't see the corner, and it's not an excuse, but you know, that's ultimately what lost us the football game.
Takes the snap, looks left, pumps, throws a slant route, touchdown Cleveland. That ball caught by the rookie receiver Antonio Callaway. 4th down and 1. Mayfield under center. They hand it to Chubb, running right. He's hit behind the line of scrimmage. Adam Gotsis.
Free runner. Keenum is sacked by Jabril Peppers, and the Browns will win.
They bought 2 zeros back to back, and obviously the last zero pushed through, and they sacked us. You know, but the field goal line was 42, so we were about 8 yards out. So we were close to getting to the field goal line for B-Mac to make a field goal to win it.
So the Broncos end up losing by just 1 point. Broncos had a chance to get it done, but offense quite couldn't execute there. Let's go back a little bit earlier, though, in the fourth quarter, right at the beginning there. Case Keenum makes a throw that he wishes he had back.
Yeah, that's a throw that you just can't make. And once again, when I said you either win as DBs at the beginning of the play or at the end, and this one they won at the end in the beginning. They gave Case a look of man. One corner played off, one corner played press. But the key is this, Case has to watch the safeties. The safeties showed cover two right away. So when you see cover two, you can't throw a guy open, which is what Case was trying to do. A crossing route, you throw him open, but against a zone, you know another guy is going to peel back. And that's what that corner did. That corner did a great job playing flat. When you go cover two, you play deep to short. He went back deep, picked it off, and it was a great play by the corner.
That's just a pass you can't throw. Although Royce Freeman seeped out there to the flat, I think that would have been a difficult pass for him to make as well with all of the linemen that were in his field of vision. So I think that's a play he either has to eat it or continue to scramble out to the right to buy some more time.
Stepping up in the pocket, maybe a little bit, buying yourself some time. You might see Freeman in that flat making a big gain, I know, but it's so hard to see Freeman through Garrett Bowles, Elijah Wilkinson, all the guys on that left side, and like Steve mentioned, you know, it might have been better to just eat it.
The coaches was telling him all week, be more aggressive, be more aggressive, be more aggressive. And I think 2 throws really that was in his mindset. The one that he tried to get Sutton on the deep route late, that was an interception he should have ate because they went into a perfect coverage against that play, and then that was a play that was a perfect coverage. I know we wanted him to be more aggressive, but not stupidly aggressive. That was a play with 2 plays I felt he should have ate the ball.
Yeah, I think when Coach Joseph said be aggressive, I think he was talking more about when for sure they're in cover. They're in cover one, and you got a chance at a 50-50
give them a chance to make a play.
80-20 ball, as they say, more so than throwing in the double and triple coverage.
Well, Baker Mayfield made the Broncos pay after the second Case Keenum interception. Let's break down this play, the touchdown to Antonio Callaway.
It was really just an unfair situation for Justin Simmons. We had no corners at the time. We were playing with one corner. Brock was the only corner. We know what happened to the other corners. One corner gets disqualified. The other corner's lip was cut, and Roby. But once you go out there, you have to understand the premise of the game. If a receiver gives you a wide split, normally he's coming inside. And on that play, Justin just played outside leverage, jumped outside, and it was really taking candy from a baby. I hate it for Justin Simmons, but you have to understand the premise of the defense. You know the easiest throw is a slant. Take away the slant and just make them do whatever they have to do outside, whether it's a fade or a fade stop. Just play through that, and whatever happens, happens. But letting them run a slant, you're at a disadvantage.
Yeah, we talk about this on Orange and Blue 760 all the time, how difficult, in my opinion, it is for a safety to go up and play cornerback. Now, if you mix it in there sometimes, it's fine, but to have to do that on a full-time basis, that's a big task for anyone. Justin Simmons, hey, he didn't complain about it. He went out there and did the best he could, but safeties normally don't have those quick twitch muscles to be able to and the lateral move, lateral speed and quickness to be able to hang with most wide receivers. Now, tight ends is a different story. Going up against a receiver, normally it's a mismatch.
We talked about Justin Simmons' versatility in the first segment, kind of paid the price here in the second. I think also, if you look at the film, Todd Davis gets sucked down a little bit too far. He was kind of the last resort on that play. Maybe could have jumped the passing lane, but gets sucked down too far. There's really no place for him to go, and he can't make it over to stop Callaway.
It's hard for a linebacker on a clean release. Right. Now, if you would have jammed him up a little bit, maybe a linebacker can get in that lane, but on a clean release like that, no, it's normally 6.
And you see Baker moving his leg like that.
Oh, he was ready to go. He was anxious. He was like, as they used to say, that's my huckleberry. Yeah, he was ready to go.
He likes something. He likes something. Now with just 2 games to go, no playoffs, what are these guys playing for now?
You playing for that name on the back of your jersey. It's pride time, man. And Steve, I used to tell my guy and the equipment guy, put my name first. Don't put the Broncos on the front. Put my name first because I know that's what I'm representing. You got to go out there and play hard because your mom and them, your dad and them, everybody watching. And that's all about just, hey, see what we can salvage as a team. And you cannot quit. You got to play hard.
Yeah, and, football is a game of pride. It's men on the field battling one another, and nobody wants to be humiliated. So, hey, you're playing for pride, man. You're going out there, just got to give great effort. So when you look at that film, you can look at it and say, hey, man, we didn't win the football game, but I did the best that I could do.
One thing that stuck with me after the game was Shelby Harris in the locker room, and he said, your job isn't guaranteed next year, and your job's not guaranteed next week. Right. You're evaluated on a week-to-week basis in the NFL, and if you want to keep playing in this league, you've got to prove it every single week. And so he said if guys don't feel like that going into the next 2 weeks, then they need to get out because this is a week-to-week game.
We call that all 32. That means every week you playing for all 32 teams to see because you never know which one you're going to end up on next week.
And for the Broncos, maybe a chance to head into the offseason with a little bit of positive.
No doubt.
It's Raiders week, too.
Exactly.
Oh, and that counts. There's rivalry still going. You got the last 2 games or in-division games. So, yes, you want to show them that we can still compete with the best, and that's what you go out to do.
Yeah, and I think it's important that, going into the offseason, we finished with some positive momentum. You don't want to end up the season on a negative note with 2 losses or even 1 loss. So you want to finish up strong so that we know that we're building with off something positive for the next season.
A lot of these young guys have things to play for. Phillip Lindsay's chasing 1,000 yards on the ground. Bradley Chubb's chasing that sack record. Looks a little bit out of his reach now. But
man, we don't care about individual stuff. No, I'm just kidding.
But
I'm just kidding.
This team is full of young guys that needs every single opportunity that they get.
So we'll see what happens there. Broncos have a chance to get to 8-8 with 2 wins here down the stretch. All right, that's going to do it for us. For Ray Crockett, Steve Atwater, Matt Boyer, I'm Phil Milani. Thanks for checking out the Broncos Film Review.